What does it feel like to be invisible in a world you secretly command? Elliot Kane knew the answer better than most. For years, he'd walked in the shadows of his family's expectations, the forgotten son who never quite fit their polished mold. His sister, Clara, was the golden child, charming, poised, and now the bride-to-be at the lavish Azure Haven resort. The invitations boasted her wedding as the event of the season, a spectacle of wealth and status. Yet, when Elliot arrived, he found his name on the guest list scratched out, replaced with a waiter's uniform and a curt instruction to serve champagne. He stood in the resort's grand ballroom, tray in hand, watching the elite swirl in their glittering gowns and tailored suits. The chandeliers cast a warm glow over the crowd, their laughter mingling with the clink of crystal glasses. Elliot's heart tightened, not with anger, but with a quiet ache. His family had always underestimated him as parents, who saw his dreams as childish, and Clara, who barely glanced his way as she floated through the room. They didn't know. None of them did. Elliot wasn't just a guest they'd demoted to staff. He was the owner of Azure Haven, the mastermind behind its rise from a crumbling seaside hotel to a paradise that drew the world's richest and most powerful. 10 years ago, he'd left home with nothing but a battered suitcase and a fire in his chest. While his family basked in their inherited wealth, Elliot built his own empire. He'd poured his soul into this resort, every detail from the marble floors to the infinity pools a testament to his vision. He'd kept his ownership a secret, letting a trusted manager front the business while he worked in the background, unnoticed. Now, as he moved through the wedding crowd, he felt the weight of their ignorance. A guest snapped her fingers, demanding another drink. His cousin smirked, muttering about the help. Clara's fiancé, a smug banker named Victor, tossed him a condescending nod, as if Elliot were beneath his notice. Each slight stung, but Elliot kept his head high, his smile steady. He served, he listened, he watched. The night wore on, and the speeches began. Clara's voice rang out, thanking everyone for coming, her words dripping with practiced grace. Victor followed, boasting about his family's connections and their bright future. Elliot's parents beamed, their pride unmistakable. No one mentioned him. Not a word about the brother who'd been relegated to pouring wine. Then came the moment that changed everything. The resort's manager, Maria, took the stage. She was a tall woman with a commanding presence, her eyes glinting with mischief as she addressed the crowd. "Tonight," she said, "we celebrate not just a wedding, but the vision that made this paradise possible. Azure Haven exists because of one person's heart and grit. I think it's time you all met him." A murmur rippled through the room. Clara frowned, confused. Victor leaned forward, curious. Elliot's parents exchanged glances, their expressions unreadable. Maria's gaze found Elliot, still holding his tray, and she smiled. "Elliot Kane," she said, her voice clear and proud. "The owner of Azure Haven." The room fell silent. Glasses froze midair. Clara's jaw dropped, her bouquet trembling in her hands. Victor's smug grin vanished. Elliot set his tray down, the clink echoing in the stunned quiet. He stepped forward, no longer the invisible waiter but a man who commanded the space. "I built this place," he said, his voice steady but laced with emotion. "Not for fame or recognition, but because I believed in creating something beautiful, something lasting. I didn't need your approval then, and I don't need it now." His words hung in the air, heavy with truth. He looked at Clara, her eyes wide with shock, and felt a pang of sadness. He'd never wanted to outshine her, only to be seen. His parents sat frozen, their faces a mix of shame and disbelief. The guests whispered, their awe palpable. Maria stepped aside, and Elliot took the stage. He didn't gloat or boast. Instead, he spoke of resilience, of building something from nothing, of finding worth in yourself when others look away. His voice cracked once, betraying the years of hurt, but he stood taller with every word. Clara approached him later, tears in her eyes. "Why didn't you tell me?" she whispered. Elliot smiled softly. "You never asked," he said. They stood in silence, the gap between them aching but not unbridgeable. As the night ended, Elliot walked to the edge of the resort's cliffs, the ocean stretching endlessly before him. The stars above mirrored the lights of Azure Haven, his creation, his legacy. He'd been invisible once, but now the world knew his name. More importantly, He knew his own worth and no one could take that away.